It is a big idea, a new world order.
Your world is not what it seems. Alex Ansary, Outside the Box.
It is September 26, 2010. Glad to be with you live tonight. I'm Alex Ansary, host of Outside the Box, your weekly digest, overview, consolidation, some of the headlines most people don't know about, have never read, have never heard. So we're going to go over some news tonight, like we usually do every week. But tonight, for the first 10, 15 minutes or so, we're going to talk about preparedness. Preparedness in the city, urban survival. From my own personal experience of the last week of being homeless and the next week. And so what I've been doing the last couple of days is I've been moving my stuff into storage and keeping the things that I need that are essential to cook my own food, essential items to stay warm at night, things of that nature, some extra tarps. And in this process, it's a process of discovery of what you're missing. Extra batteries, extra flashlights, extra matches, extra lighters, things of that nature. Knowing if you have enough food through trial and error, through experience. The thing with survivalism and preparedness is a lot of people are looking for a quick, easy 1, 2, 3 solution to surviving, to living self-sufficiently, to living independently. But you have to practice. You have to try to apply these skills in your life today. And to do it from a standpoint of not being afraid or doing it because you're concerned about these things going on in the world. To do it because you want to be independent from the grid. You might be concerned about World War III. You might be concerned about an ice age. You might be concerned about the dollar crashing. You might be concerned about a lot of things. But what we don't want, what I don't want to pass on, is too much information to the point where it paralyzes people into inaction. In my opinion, we're blessed with all this information that we have. By the way, Mike, I did misplace my new script, so it's either over there or up at the counter up there. And so we're going to talk about some news headlines tonight, but it's all done to help expose, thank you, what needs to be exposed. I also want to thank Mike and Chris for being here tonight. Bill is on vacation. So let's start the show and talk about my own independent urban survival plan. Let's start with this. This is my camp stove. With my camp stove, there are so many different things I can cook, so many different foods I can prepare. And this is something that runs about $50 or $60. Certainly, there are certain tools that can help us, but these are not things that you want to be dependent on. Definitely you want to have some extra propane tanks. There's been times where I've gone out camping and I realized that I lost my propane tank. So that's all very important. So I have 2 propane tanks and I have one in the truck. Here is one and here is the other. This is very important. You might want to get some accessories as well to go with this. It's just some sort of a hose or whatnot. This is a pack that I found actually off of 30th and Hawthorne in a free box, and picked that up because this would be good to keep my food cool and things of that nature. I'm constantly talking about the need to get away from plastic, and things like this can be found at the thrift store. This was about $2. And I took the filtered water, it's 41 cents a gallon at New Seasons, and I put it in a container like this, and I'm able to get my water. There's literally no reason why we should be drinking out of plastic bottles when you learn about the BPA and how it's literally feminizing men and turning women into women quicker. It also contributes to breast cancer and things of that nature through the flooding of estrogen in the female body system. This is also a jar you can get at a number of places around town. You can order them online, which is good for storing water, but you want to be careful. I accidentally broke one of them, filtering my water off the Clackamas River when I was camping past Estacade off Highway 224 last weekend. And so I definitely think that I'm just going to give this out if anybody wants to take the idea and run with it. One good product that I think should be on the market, widely produced, is glass containers with a plastic lining to protect it from damage, or something to protect it from breaking, since more and more people are moving to glass. Some stainless steel containers are made with toxic metals that leach poisons into our body. So some of these stainless steel containers that are made in China, you might want to know a little bit more about the product itself before you start drinking fluids that come out of it. I'm trying to be a minimalist to a certain degree and not have more stuff in my truck than I need as I go about my urban survival adventure. So I want to keep my sleeping bag definitely near me at all times and have some extra blankets. I definitely don't want to be without it or need to use one of those emergency ponchos or blankets. And I think some of those don't really work as well as they're marketing themselves to be. But this is not something, we talk about trial and error, that I want to have in the winter. This is a spring, summer, fall sleeping bag, but you can make a sleeping bag warmer, of course, by putting blankets within it to create an extra layer of insulation. I only have so many clothes. It's all in a laundry container. The thing is, you want to have the essential clothes, like stuff that holds your body heat in. There's a number of stuff that's been made in recent years that's a lot better than cotton, that does not absorb moisture or water. So that's all very important, especially if you're in the Pacific Northwest, where it rains a lot. So getting out and camping during the summer, things of that nature are all very, very important to realize what you're missing, and of course to work on some of the skills. Building a fire, also building a shelter if you're in an area where there's enough wood around. All good stuff to practice. This is my sleeping pad, and I've been using this for a couple years, and this is definitely, I would rate this at between A and F, about a C. I'd give it about a C, maybe a C minus, because certainly I have a little bit of back problems. Something like this doesn't exactly do the job, and so I'm going to have to upgrade. Yoga mats, I've heard, are also good for sleeping on. This is my compact backpacker sleeping bag, and this is very easy to set up. At this point, I can set this tent up in about 2 minutes flat in the dark. So the point is to be able to use your equipment through practice and trial and error, through being experienced with your equipment, so you don't need any external light to get the job done. We're going to move on to my food mini food pantry here in just a moment, but this basically consolidates most of the pots and pans that I am currently working with. If you want to bring it over to camera 1, a couple different things I have here. You also, of course, want to have some sort of a kit. Looks like I need to clean that one. That one's been through some heavy use, and of course I used it over the fire because I wanted, some pans aren't very good for using over the fire. I got that at the thrift store for about $3. I love my wooden bowls, certainly. So this is just a small fraction of what I have, but it's basically some of the primary stuff, and I'm showing you some of this stuff so that you end up having some ideas of your own. We've got some paper plates here. I really don't like to use paper plates. There's no reason why most people should be taking, or anybody really, paper plates out to the wilderness when you can get your own. You can get wooden plates. I think wooden silverware would be a good thing. So we've got oils, we've got flashlights, we've got other things. We've got interesting books like this, The Holographic Universe, to keep me thinking about the true nature of reality and what's really going on as I spend my time in nature. These things over here, these little buckets, because we talk about food buckets sometimes on the show and how it's good to put your food in it, food-safe buckets, and seal them with the Gamma Seal lids. This is a smaller size bucket, which I use for some other things. I just have a rain jacket in here and my wind-up radio. I found that by winding this up for about a minute straight, I get about a good 10 minutes or so or play out of it. So it's good to go back to it and keep winding it up, but it's amazing how long a little radio like this, I think